Gentlemen, please, would you bring your attention to me? For a feast for your eyes to see, an explosion of catastrophe. Like nothing you've seen before, watch closely as I open this door. Your jaws will be on the floor. After this, you'll be begging for more. Welcome to the show. Please come inside, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, do you want it? Boom, do you need it? Boom, let me hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, boom, do you want it? Boom, do you hear it? Boom, do you need it? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Come inside, we've been waiting for you. That was Oakland Radio and Mark Davis at the Westgate Casino after the Sex show. That's right, Sex with two X's. It is a burlesque strip show. And that song I sang is called Ladies and Gentlemen. It's by Saliva, to which Barry Lee says, don't quit my day job, but I got news. Right now, this is my day job. So that's actually one of my favorite songs, but it's also, Ladies and Gentlemen, the song by Saliva, the song that is used in the promotional video for the sex show at Westgate Casino, Las Vegas. So here, this was tweeted out by the Westgate people. Mark Davis posing with some short-skirted, all pretty much white, any black girls, dancers that are part of the sex show. Now, you would say, why show this, Zenny? Because it's news. It has been said to me for quite some time that Mark Davis had a motivation for moving the Raiders to Las Vegas was more than just, as it's presented now, a secret deal or a kind of a a search for better revenue flow, right? But as a friend of mine who I will never name told me, this person said he, quote, has a couple of girls there. And I thought, oh, is that why we're being put through all this? There's a love Davis has for Las Vegas. Now, having said all that, I'll say this. You know, there is something to be said for having a good time. Regardless of how you feel about Mark Davis or how angry you might be with his actions or how much you dislike the way in which he took at his actions, and I've been on record as saying I thought he could have been a lot more straightforward about what he wanted when he really wanted it, which is 2014. You got to admit, I mean, there's one thing that you cannot, I mean, you simply can't deny, folks. I mean, it is completely 1,000,000% undeniable. And what is it that is 1,000,000% completely undeniable at this point? It is this: that man is having a good time. Look at that smile. Look at that smile. That man is having a good time, okay? And I believe I may have seen her before, but he is having a good time. No question about it, okay? Wearing his trademark tennis shoes, jeans, and Raider t-shirt, okay? He is having a good time. And I didn't bother to check and see if there was anything more on Twitter about his good time. Maybe let me see here. Let me see what's being said. All right. Hey Barry Lee, if you tweet this out, please use hashtag Las Vegas, right? And yeah, why not? So let me see what's being said about Mark Davis here. Hey, if I type MARKDA, it completes it. Mark Davis, and so that means, okay. Oh, mainly because of my tweeting, and then of course the Sexxy show, right? We are so excited to have the Raiders come to Las Vegas. We would like to thank the owner of the team, Mark Davis, for getting Sexxy with us last night. So we hope to host the entire team very soon. That's what it says. The entire team. You have this is posted just 14 minutes ago. Look, okay? Take a look at this, okay? Right there. This is 15 minutes ago. Sexxy show. All right? We are so excited to have the Raiders come to Las Vegas. We would like to thank the owner of the team, Mark Davis, for getting Sexxy with us last night. We hope to host the entire team very soon. Reads. Okay. And hey, Mark, good for Mark for being open about his pleasures. Why not? I mean, you have one life to live. His health could be better. All right. I will not get into detail about that. I'll just say it could be better. Why not have your fun? And the reason why I say that is, hey, look, you know what? I'll be 56. My buddy Lars Frigman died 2 weeks ago, roughly, in his sleep, which is really the best way you could go. But I know that he's a mad hatter that the Lord did that. It's like, hey, why did you take him in the middle of his sleep? I think about that. I think about what Mark Davis is doing in that context, because Mark is, I believe, 61? How old is he? And let's see, Mark Davis, Raiders, age. And he is 62, 63. He was born in Charleston, South Carolina. And he's a Cal State University Chico. But anyway, that's my point. He's 62, 63. How much more life does he have left? He doesn't know. We don't know. Let the man have his fun. That's what I say. Let the man have his fun. Because doggone well, there are a bunch of you folks who, if you were in Vegas, you probably would be doing something similar too. All right? Let's just be honest about that. Barry Lee says, Mark Davis is living his dream because he knows his dream of making money in Vegas isn't going to happen. Joseph Binsman says, sure doesn't sound like they're talking about the team's football performance. No, they're not, Joseph Binsman. And Binsman says before that, what a dream. NFL team owner of the Vegas franchise, laugh out loud. Joseph Binsman asked us he's married. No, he is single. He's not only single, he has no kids from any prior marriage. Barry Lee says, I would say 1 year tops before scandal breaks out. Joseph Binsman says, sup, folks, to which I say, howdy. And I say to those of you just joining, welcome to the show. Welcome to Zenny62. And once again, you missed my one-of-a-kind rendition of Saliva. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I cannot and I will not play for you the video in its entirety, mainly because, for copyright reasons, well, maybe I should just play a little snippet, because it's a freaking cool song, folks, all right? It's one of my favorites. I can't remember the first time that I heard it. I think it was in connection with the NFL draft telecast on ESPN, and it was the introduction. You say, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the cord to plug my speaker in. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It never ceases to amaze me how cords like to just basically, entangle themselves into one another for reasons that to me are, to this point in time, inexplicable. And they entangle themselves, and then on occasion they entangle around you, right? And that's okay. That's annoying. All right, now this is fun. This is something. I cannot actually find the one chord that I need most of all, and I just found it. All right, wild. If I showed you, it's too late. Okay, the whole point of this is that this is a cool song. It is a massively cool song. If you haven't heard it before, hold on a second. I'm going to keep it on mute so you can't hear it. And until I get to a point where I can play maybe just 3 seconds of it. All right? Just 3 seconds. And skip the ad. Then I'll get to, let's see here. This is the part that I was trying to sing. It sounds much better than they do it. You get the idea? Okay. I mean, it is a cold song. I'll just put it on mute, fast forward a little bit more. It is a completely cold song. And this is the best part about it right here, right? This is it. Listen to this. Listen to this. Well, excuse me. Dang it. Come on, man. I screwed that one up. All right. All right, now let me try that again. All right. All right. This is the best part of the song. All right, cool. Unmute that. And then, yeah. Welcome to the show. We've been waiting for you all day. Well, that's not true. Anyway, you get the idea. That Barry Lee says, Zinni rocking out loud. That is a cold song. I'm sorry. That is just a cold song. Hey, look, call me what you will, call me anything, call me a rocker, fine. That's Mr. Rocker to you. Actually, you know what? Nah, Lars was more of a jazz guy, but he used to be a Mark guy. Barry Lee says, Zinni, you should start a nightclub and call it Zinni Rock Out Live. I might if I didn't have to deal with these copyright deals, right, and all that. That's why I only played like a few seconds of this thing, you know, because I don't want someone turning around and saying, oh my God, okay, which could happen anyway. I only played 3 seconds of it, all right? That was it, all right? Nothing more than that. It was just a little bit, enough to, you know, wet your whistle, get you interested in it, and all that, okay? So Barry Lee says, I mean a real nightclub. All right, so question of the day regarding what you saw with Mark Davis, all right? Should we hate on Mark Davis for moving the Raiders, it would seem, so he could be closer to, you know, burlesque shows and strip clubs? Yes or no? I'll repeat the question. Should we hate on Mark Davis for moving the Raiders to Vegas for what it would seem the reasons to be closer to strip clubs and burlesque shows? Yes or no? I'm not going to give you my answer. I want to hear your answer. I want to see your answer. What say you? Barry Lee, very kind of you. Barry says, I hate Mark Davis because of the way he treated you. Thank you. I understand. I understand that. I don't hate the man. I don't like the way he treated me then, but I don't hate the man in total, okay, by any means. So that's it. Barry Lee says no. What about everybody else? There are now 12, 13, 14, 15 of you around here, right? Okay, yes or no? Do you hate on Mark Davis? If you do, just type yay. Why? Like, you know, YMCA, Y for yes or N for no. Barry Lee says no. Joseph Benson says, I would say yes because the Raiders are a proud football franchise. John Madden was surely about football. Donald Richardson says, what's up? Donald Richardson, question to you. Do you hate on Mark Davis for moving the Raiders? It would seem to be closer to burlesque show and strip clubs. Just asking. Jay Boogle says, Raiders, what a sideshow act. Welcome to the show. What a sideshow act. I love the lyrics for that song. I'm probably gonna OD on those lyrics tonight. If it's at all possible to do. If I just back a little bit there. Barry Lee says no to Vegas because of all the scandals it will bring the NFL. Are you saying that we're witnessing a scandal in the making with Mark Davis in that photograph? Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying, boom, do you want it? Boom, do you need it? Boom, let me hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. You've seen, and seeing is believing. Your ears and your eyes will be bleeding. Please check to see if you're still breathing. Hold tight, because the show's not over. If you will please move in closer. You are about to be bowled over by the wonders you're about to behold here. Welcome to the show. Please come inside, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. Oh, anyway, okay, enough. Barry Lee says, yes, it's just the beginning because the players see that they will follow that, and they will follow him. All right, I'm gonna put, as much as it pains me, I'm gonna put my JT the Brick hat on here, okay? And my JT the Brick hat says that something that he said to me: Las Vegas is the entertainment capital of the world. Oakland's got nothing on Las Vegas, yada yada yada. Well, that's not the point. We do have a lot on Las Vegas. We talked about that before. We have a bigger market, and the idea of a casino is all over the place. But there is one fact that I think can't be ignored, and that Las Vegas is an instantly recognizable place that's known for parties and fun, right? Okay, and it has never it's growing into its own destination, its own place to live. That's the idea. Whether or not the Raiders will succeed is another story. Uh, however, it's a risky move without question. I mean, it's very risky. But the upside of it is if you play your business cards right, it could pan out quite well. Okay. The question is whether or not the Raiders are the right business to make that happen, or even then, if they're in the right situation to make that happen. They've gotten this far. You've got to give them credit for getting this far. Do I like how they did it? No, I think it sucks. But I have to admit, a sneering admiration for what was done, for what has been done. And not because they succeeded at it, but because, I mean, everyone loves a shiny new stadium in a place that's fun to be. So we take away the politics and the behind the scenes wrangling that Davis did and the violations of lack of good faith, which should cost the team hundreds of millions and probably will. The freaking bottom line is it's a cool idea and a fun place to be. I have said before, and I'll say again, I don't hate Las Vegas. That's not the issue for me at all. At all. And from that perspective, you got to admit this is a fun thing. It really is. It's a fun thing. And something else, too. I am really concerned, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm really concerned. Welcome to the show. Please come inside, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, do you want it? Anyway, what I'm really concerned about is the way Oakland is going, both politically and socially. This white woman I've seen before around Lake Merritt, you're calling the police on a group of mostly black folks picnicking, okay? And that sort of thing has happened to a number of people, including myself. I've videoed about it. So the Oakland that is developing is one that the current elected officials, and particularly the mayor, are not doing anything at all to mitigate. And at all. And I don't want to get off on a tangent about that, but I'm saying it's not fun. Okay? Oakland must be a fun place to be. The one thing that no one can argue is that Las Vegas is a fun place to be. You can have a great time in Las Vegas. Look at Mark's smile, okay? You can have a great time in Las Vegas, all right? Doing something, all right? Unquestionably, you can do that. Now, does it have its priorities in line? No, but look at the smile on that dude's face, all right? So, Jack Bauer, how you doing? Jack Bauer says, did he go to Vegas just for girls? Yeah. Basically, that's what it's boiled down to. And again, I was told that he had, quote, a couple of girls by a friend of mine well over a year ago when I posed the question to my friend, why is Mark Davis putting us through all this? And the answer I got back was, well, I know he's got a couple of girls there. And I said, you mean we're going through all this because he's got some tail in Las Vegas? Okay, all right? And so Barry Lee says, the NFL is for families, not for old men to take pics with young women to benefit their egos. Oh, but you say that, Barry Lee, and I have a photograph for you, okay? And to which Jack Bauer then says, hey, did Mark Davis go to Vegas just for girls? And Barry Lee says, it seems like it, all right? Donald Richardson says, I think every NFL owner and executive should be very careful how they are perceived in public when it comes to their relationship with women because of the hashtag #MeToo. I could not have said it better. Now, I want you to see this, okay, folks? Because, I mean, and this goes with, oh, you know what? I typed Jerry Jones, Las Vegas. How Jerry, and I typed Jerry Jones, and the second result I got in Google was this. Jerry Jones, Las Vegas, all right? This is the results. Look at the results I get, folks. Look at this. 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 Jerry Jones, Las Vegas. Jerry Jones, MD. Ha ha. How Jerry Jones owner, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones got this Vegas Raider deal done. Ties grow between Raiders, Jerry Jones, and the Las Vegas Stadium. Okay. Between that and the doctor, you know something is up, right? Now, I'm going to type Jerry Jones, Las Vegas, Zenny 62 for another reason, because I've got, okay, why does Jerry Jones really want NFL Oakland Raiders in Las Vegas? To Jerry Jones, then John Clayton, and then, let's see here. We've got New York Post. Here is my famous November 11th, 2010 blog post, which if you haven't seen it before, you're about to see it right now. Hey, welcome to Zenny62, everybody. Welcome to the show. Please come inside, ladies and gentlemen, because boom, you're going to want this. Take a look. Jerry Jones, Cowboys owner, married but with blondes in Las Vegas, ? All right. And this is, okay, now remember, you're seeing this, right? Because Barry Lee over here asked me this question, or he made this, he typed this statement. This is what Barry Lee typed. He typed, let's see here. Oh, where did Barry? Oh, Barry Lee was really cool. And let me go up a little bit. Oh, this is what Barry Lee typed. The NFL is for families, not for old men, to take pics with young women to benefit their egos. All right, that's what Barry Lee wrote, right? Okay, so take a look at. Having said that, I present to you. Dun, da, da. Bam! Exactly what you asked for, Barry Lee. Okay, bam. All right. So that appeared on the Dirty, which is a kind of a Perez Hilton style blog at the time, and the story is one worth telling in light of what we were looking at. It says, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones should know that eyes are always on him. This is me writing this. And you can find this. In fact, you know what? If you want to read this more, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put the link right here. I'm writing LINK link, and then bam, there you go. Should come up in, yeah, there's the link to the blog post for your entertainment. But I digress. It says, that's the price paid for being the face of an organization rather than pulling the strings in the background. It's the flip side of making hard decisions like firing Wade Phillips or releasing Terrell Owens. Eyes were on him when Jones made the disrespectful blast about the 2010 NFL draft, about Bill Parcells, and about how Tim Tebow would not, quote, get on the field if he were chosen by the Dallas Cowboys, which is why they didn't choose him. The Broncos did. Eyes were on him when Jones was in Las Vegas Tuesday night, too. According to TMZ.com and SpyOnVegas.com, Jones was seen with a young blonde woman at the Lavo nightclub in the Venetian Hotel and took this photo with her. Now, quote, seen, unquote, does not in itself mean anything. The woman could have been a fan or a friend of a friend. So at first glance, there's no harm. Except, of course, for the fact that Mr. Jones isn't wearing his wedding ring. He's got what appears to be a Cowboys Super Bowl ring on. Yes, Jones is married and has been attached to Gene Jones, but that apparently hasn't stopped him from having a good time with other women. and on a scale that reportedly rivals Tiger Woods before Thanksgiving of 2009. Eyes have been on Jerry Jones for a long time. Jeff Pearlman's book, Boys Will Be Boys, The Glory Days and Party Nights of the Dallas Cowboys Dynasty, the account of sex, drugs, and debauchery of the Dallas Cowboys dynasty of the dynasty years of the 90s, when the organization earned 3 Super Bowl wins in 1993, 94, and 96. That was a pretty wild and weird bunch, a foul cry from the Christian values of Tom Landry's Cowboys. If it wasn't Charles Haley, doing in front of teammates, or the teammates need the team's need for what it called skanks to be around them, to the behavior of Jerry Jones is reported by a blogger by the name of G Money, and this is what G Money wrote. Jerry Jones used to make his private plane shake in flight because he was banging his mistresses so hard in the back. He would also ask his employees' wives if they were wearing panties, and that if that woman would give him 5 minutes, he would take her to heaven. And he would say this in front of their husbands, who were, as G Money said, employed by Jerry Jones. Can't make this stuff up, folks. Then there was the recent civil complaint filed September 30th, 2010, in which a Patricia Gavin, alleges that the same Jerry Jones who owns the Dallas Cowboys, which, while questionable in that it makes Ms. Gavin look like a pleasure seeker, okay, it doesn't make her look good at all, who may be twisting events to get $500 million from Jones, seem to follow the pattern of behavior Jones is said to practice in Pearlman's book. Update: Jones filed a restraining order against Ms. Gavin in 2010, and the restraining order was granted. She was ordered to pay $5,000, which was the cost of his legal expenses. The lawsuit was frivolous and without merit. This is me reporting on that. And eyes were on Jerry Jones at Lavo nightclub in the Venetian Hotel. Beyond that photo, the Dirty.com reports that Jones was with, quote, this young lady all night long. Yes, it did happen, the Dirty writes. This young lady was with him all night long, and my friends in security told me they followed them on camera all the way to a suite with one other female. And I must say, Jerry Jones is a true, quote, gentleman, unquote, and has more game than any trout I've seen in 11 years. And note, they followed Jones with a camera, a security camera. Eyes are always on Jerry Jones. But this blonde has to ask why, this blogger has to ask, why does the media, because I'm reading what I wrote before, why does the media pay no attention to Jones, whereas they pay a ton of attention to Tiger Woods? Social media changed that in 2014, as you can see here. I give a link, all right? For all of his romps in the hay, Tiger Woods was never once sued for sexual assault. And Woods is worth more than Jerry Jones. Yet the media has a field day in destroying Tiger Woods, where the married Jerry Jones continues to party like a rock star almost under the radar. Why do we continuously read about Brett Favre and sexting Jen Starger, but not the fun Jerry Jones had in Las Vegas or anywhere else? What does Jerry's wife think about all this? If she's cool with it, then it's cool, right? Is the media afraid of a rich white male NFL owner? Or is it that Jerry Jones is so likable, which is true, he's a very likable man, the sports media tends to look the other way? As our Zinni62 hip-hop journalist Davey D would say, something to ponder. That's the blog post that I wrote. Now, my point is, having said all that, we have the case, obviously, of Mark Davis and his obvious, enjoyments and vices and everything else. But as Joseph Binsman very presciently pointed out in his comment, every NFL owner, including these two gentlemen, must be concerned about their image in the generation, the era of #MeToo. And the bottom line is, you can't say Mark. You can't say Mark isn't. Mark isn't doing his part to stay away from any possible finger pointing in the future. But on the other hand, Mark Davis gets requests for his photograph all the time. Who is he to turn down a request by what, eight, 10 beautiful women after a performance at a casino where he was the guest, right? Just saying, okay? Just saying. He is entitled to have a great time as Mark Davis. But really, Mark needs a girlfriend. He needs to settle down with one lady that he's around with and has a great normal time with. That's just me talking, okay? Because he's got more to lose than at any time in his history, and I really believe he needs to think in those terms. What do you guys think? I'll go back and read your comments. And so, I'm going down to what I got. What Richardson says, and Joseph Bensman says, definitely true, Donald, regarding the hashtag #MeToo comment that I recited. Plenty of sex and money with all sports, let alone the NFL. But the NFL has a contradiction of trying to promote good character guys for its teams, yet is allowing one in Sin City. Yep, sure is. And that's an excellent point. Jack Bauer says, shame, Barry Lee. Barry Lee says, Joseph, that's why I can't understand why the NFL would approve the move for that reason alone. And Joseph Binsman says, money wins over most people, Barry Lee. Ding! I couldn't have said it before, That's really true. Money and winning. It's like, well, it's okay. They won. Well, it's okay. They're rich. Really? Well, except you might want to ask Eric Snyderman about that. Barry Lee says, Jack? Barry Lee says, yeah, I remember when Jerry Jones was in a pic with a woman wrapped around his leg. Jack Bauer 24 says, Mark may get in trouble in Vegas with these women. And he says, but then Jack Bauer says, he hopes not. And I hope not too. Again, Mark Davis is a guy you want to like. So I don't wish anything negative on him at all, even though the way he's treated me has been of late kind of, less than. But that I'm not wired to want an equivalent or to seek an equivalency of treatment, right? That's just me. My mom talks about it all the time. She says, you can't get mad at people. They're like, treat you like crap and like you're nice to them, and why are you like that? Well, I don't believe two wrongs make a right. I believe that God will prevail. So, anyway, Don Richard says, that was years ago. Well, but here's the thing, Donald. And I know you say it's years ago, but indulge me. Because I believe that whatever legal issues Jerry got into and whatever fun he had at the Venetian, do you know who owns the Venetian? All right? I want you to marinate on that and then write who owns the Venetian, and then I'll get back to you, okay? So Joseph Bensman says, honestly, just moving to Vegas is quite tame compared to how the Redskins treated their group of cheerleaders years ago, allegedly. Wonder how many other cheerleader situations like that are now. And so I posted the link, and Barry Lee wrote, bam! Donald Richardson writes, there are other pictures from that same night with other women and owners that night. Where? Oh, you mean the Redskins? Wait, from what night? From the when I showed, or from what? Barry Lee says, that's what pisses me off. These owners like Jerry Jones have good women by their side, and they treat their wives like that. That is wrong. Yeah, and look at our president, who happens to have a pipeline by phone to who? Jerry Jones. Think about it. I mean, there's a whole group of these fellows that it would seem hanging together. You've got Donald Trump. He's got his Vegas hotel. He can call Jerry Jones and have multiple conversations with him about kneeling and everything else. Okay? There's a club that there, all right? And so there's a club. And so Joseph Binsman says, these guys don't care, Barry. All about getting theirs and getting their money. Simple as that. Barry Lee says, what real man would allow Jerry Jones to do that? A real man would have punched him and filed a suit against Jerry Jones. No money is worth a wife being treated that way. Barry Lee says, if Mark, I have to say something. I don't know that, that implies that Jerry Jones did something bad. Oh, I get it. Well, okay. If I'm not mistaken, Barry Lee, you're referring to those comments that Jones made. And yeah, those comments were undeniably bad. And it's amazing that in the era of the hashtag Me Too movement, that hasn't reared its head again, right? That no one has come up and said, hey, by the way, with respect to the whole, Cowboys issue, this happened to me blank, 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 blank times. All right, given what I read to you, given what's out there, the simple fact that we don't have that regurgitated again is quite interesting, I think. So now, Barry Lee says, if Mark Davis was to court a woman, he would have to be careful that woman isn't just out to get his money. Yeah, that's right. Or sweet in the Raiders Stadium. Jordan Yancey says, Las Vegas Sands. You're close. I want the name of the person. Joseph Binsman says, Bob Kraft used to be buddy-buddy with Trump. True. Businesses might still be behind the scenes. And Donis says, this could be damage. Yeah, okay. Sheldon Adelson. In fact, he's the person that owns Las Vegas Sands, which owns the Venetian and the Palazzo, two of the finest hotels in the world, period, okay? So he's the owner. And I really believe that when Jerry Jones said to me that Sheldon Adelson could be a great NFL owner, and should be, I believe that he was doing a friend a favor, okay? But I believe he felt he owed that friend, because he had a lot of fun in that friend's hotel, and I'm going to venture a guess that the security for Jones may have been provided by the hotel as a celebrity, as a friend of Sheldon Adelson. And Robert Kraft's a friend too. Okay? So my hypothesis, and a hypothesis is an educated guess based on study, is that somewhere along the way between 2010 and now, a relationship developed where Jerry Jones felt that he owed it to Sheldon Adelson to get him into the NFL fold as an owner, or at least get him a team in Las Vegas. Okay? Otherwise, why work so hard? It's not just about legends. There's another reason, okay? So, what other comments we got here? That was the last one by Donis. He says, this could be damage. Yeah. But, so in fact, I'm thinking about, let me see here. Wondering if that's a good idea.
Crystal's new $2, $3, and $4 meal deals are...
Commercial. Yay, I got a commercial. Woohoo! That's really great. That's really fantastic. Okay, now, I forgot to do something. I'm going to change the direction of this video. It's set to people in blogs and not sports. What I'm doing right now is I'm changing the tagging of this video so that it's listed as sports there, okay? And then I'm going back to, let's see here. I'm adding a tag Oakland Raiders here. Hey Barry, if you're still around, could you tweet out hashtag Oakland Raiders, please? Thank you. And then I'm adding a tag Mark Davis, and then there's this. I like the Sexxy show at Westgate. The Sexxy show. And Las Vegas. You gotta love that too. Because like I said, I don't hate on Las Vegas. It's not about hating on Las Vegas at all. All right, and we are back.
And we are back.
Back. Bam. Okay. Now, Barry Lee says, so I wonder, once Mark Davis passes, who gets ownership of the team? Donut says, so are the Raiders gone forever? Shaking my head. Um, you know, I'm not going to say forever because they came back once. That could happen again. But they are getting their stadium. Now, Barry Lee asks a question I believe needs to be addressed, answered. And he asks, so I wonder, once Mark Davis passes, who gets ownership of the team? That's a good question. And I'm sure that's been handled. Originally, it was supposed to be Sheldon Adelson's kids. And that has never been finalized publicly, okay? So let me see something. Let me see. Mark Davis. Okay, Mark Davis, Raiders, uh, ownership, succession plan. Now, see, as far as I know, the succession. Last time anything was written about the succession plan, it was 2014. Let's see here. And then CBS Sports wrote something in that year. I wonder if this is by La Canfora. It was by Jason La Canfora. And Jason, who I should have on as a guest here if CBS will allow me, writes, with a handful of owners dying in recent years, we must examine what's on tap from a succession standpoint for those franchises and others with aging owners. All right. So scrolling down, he says there's an issue no one has paid much mind to for a long time, and for good reason, as owners remain at the helm for decades after decades. But with the passing of Al Davis in October 2011, and with his son Mark taking over, and given the tenuous situation in Oakland, with a lack of a stadium plan and a lease that's been running year to year, it became more reasonable to look ahead at what might be in store for franchises as the inevitable change took place. Now, let's see here. They have age of owner by net worth. This is interesting. So we've got age of owner. This is really a great, you have to check this out, folks. This is worth me bringing you down to see. This is a neat graph that CBS Sports put together. This is NFL owners by age and net worth, okay? For example, this is the state of Ralph Wilson. You can click on the ownership assumed, okay? The Packers, team net worth, the estate of Ralph Wilson, then Bud Adams, Cardinals, Bidwell, McCaskey, Alex Spanos, Tom Benson, Dad Rudy. There's Jerry Jones right here at $2.3 billion. Mike Brown, Jerry Richardson at $1 billion. Robert Kraft at $1.8 billion. Jeffrey Lurie here, right? So we go down, we've got Arthur Blank at $930 million. That's $1.3 billion for Robert Johnson. Steve Biscotti's $1.7 billion. Z Wolf, and so we go down and we have Mark Davis is $830 million. That's 0.0. When you see 0.83 billion, that's 830 million. Okay. Now, if we want to go, that's in terms of worth. Now, if we want to go, that's team worth. All right. Then, of course, ownership assume we know the answer to that, and the age of owner we know the answer to that. All right. So that's the NFL owners by age and net worth. All right. The average age of the NFL owner is 70.1 years. Okay. Examining teams in flux, Oakland Raiders. In Oakland, Davis is clearly in charge, but the lack of a stadium option nearby, the slim odds that the Raiders are granted entry into the Los Angeles market as presently constituted, and Davis' lack of interest in joining the 49ers at their sparkling new facility in Santa Clara have pinned the franchise in a corner. Davis has offered up chunks of the franchise for sale, seeking an influx of liquidity, but according to league sources, lack of controlling interest in the club and the high price of those minority shares has led to a stagnant market. Davis options appear limited, and the future of this franchise is nebulous, given the uncertainty about a long term home, leading some to wonder if at some point Davis may part with it. Okay, so that was what my friend Jason LaCanfora wrote in uh, 2014, and it'll be be interesting to get Jason on the show and see if there's a update. Now, let's see here. We've got, and that's really the latest one. We've got another November 9th, 2014, and that is the yeah, that's not what I thought it was. That's actually what I read to you by Jason LaCanfora is the latest to be written about it. Okay. Now here's something that was written May 14th, 2016. Jerry Jones wants Mark Davis out as majority owner of the Raiders, and this has been a rumor that was started by Jason Cole, and it, but also, oh, I'm sorry, I thought I heard Jason Cole say it, but it came from Bleacher Report's Mike Freeman, and now this was dated of, well, I read you the date 2014. Let me see here what this says. This comes from Sports Illustrated, okay? Oh, Joseph Binsby asked me who my favorite owner is. My favorite owner. I like Jerry Jones for what he's done for the Cowboys. I don't like the way he treated Tom Landry. All right, sorry about that. I don't like the way he treated Tom Landry, okay? In the way he ousted him, that was a sore spot. But I do like Jerry Jones as an owner and a business manager. And a person. Okay. Now, now let me read you this. This is May 13th, 2016. Dallas. This is Sports Illustrated. Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones has reportedly been pushing Raiders owner Mark Davis to sell the team for years, according to Bleacher Report's Mike Freeman. Jones said earlier this week that he supported putting an NFL team in Las Vegas, where the Raiders have been lobbying to relocate, but only if the team was headed by the, quote, the right ownership. See what I was talking about the Raiders, whether or not they were the right ones? The right ownership. Jones reportedly feels that Davis is not capable of maximizing revenues or creating value for the league, and that's what Freeman reported. The Raiders have been pushing toward relocation in Las Vegas, with Davis pledging $500 million toward the construction of a $1.4 billion stadium. Hey, funny how that price goes up, isn't it? In Las Vegas at a meeting with the Nevada Tourism Committee. They're talking about the Southern Nevada Tourism and Infrastructure Committee. Las Vegas Mayor Carolyn Goodman also supports the Raiders' move to her city, saying this week the Raiders relocate if the state of Nevada handles the business proceedings properly. So we know how that came out, right? So, but there you go. That was where that came from. And I've heard that again and again and again. Someone else prior to that said that the Raider owner Mark Davis is in over his head. And this was by Yahoo. This was posted by Yahoo by Mike Silver. Woo, okay. Mike, man, I should get you on the show again and ask you about this. Who's now with the NFL Network. But this is what he wrote. January 11th, 2012. Mike Silver wrote, back in the spring of 2008, when he was very much in charge of the Oakland Raiders, singularly peculiar organization. Let me read that. Let me reread that. Back in the spring of 2008, when he was very much in charge of the Oakland Raiders' singularly peculiar organization, Al Davis presided over a pre-draft meeting at the team's Alameda, California training facility. As coaches and personnel officials discussed what to do with the fourth overall pick, which the team would ultimately use to select Arkansas halfback Darren McFadden, the Hall of Fame owner's son, Mark Davis, casually drifted into the room. "Mark," Al Davis said, stopping the meeting and sounding genuinely interested, "what do you think we should do?" Caught off guard, the younger Davis mumbled something about needing a wide receiver. Wrong answer. "A expletive wide receiver?" Al Davis snapped, his voice rising. "Get the blank out of here." And with that, that's funny. I can actually see Al Davis saying that. "What? A wide receiver? Get the fuck out of here." Oh my God. And with that, the heir to one of the NFL's most storied franchises slinked out of the room and continued on with the rest of his day. And I'm only reading what Mike wrote. I didn't choose that word, slinked. This is what Silver wrote. Look at this, okay? This is what Mike Silver wrote. And with that, the heir to one of the NFL's most storied franchises slinked out of the room and continued with the rest of his day. He should have wrote continued on with the rest of his day, but whatever, okay? I cite this is Silver writing and me talking about what Silver put in here, right? Silver writes, "I cite this incident not to illustrate that Al Davis had a mean streak and did not suffer fools gladly," which, by the way, he did not. That's me talking, not Silver, okay? "Even when the fool in question was his only child, nor is it necessarily a necessary means of proving that Mark Davis doesn't know much about personnel. He essentially admitted that Tuesday in a news conference announcing the hiring of General Manager Reggie McKenzie, a potentially sound move, and the firing of head coach Hugh Jackson, an astonishingly dumb one. I agree." Now, no, this is Silver writing this and me talking about what Silver wrote. Silver says, "No, the reason I share this story, which was related to me by a former member of the Raiders coaching staff who witnessed it, is to explain why I think the younger Davis made a coaching change after Jackson's promising 8-8 rookie season, to project an image of authority. Mark Davis needs to surround himself with employees who didn't see him routinely disparaged and condescended by his legendary father." Okay? "We were all in that room," the ex-Raiders assistant coach said, referring to the aforementioned draft meeting. "We saw Mark get kicked out like a little blanking puppy dog in front of everyone." Another former Raider coach said that he, quote, "saw Al Davis tell Mark to shut the blank up all the time. It was a regular occurrence. He treated him like his opinion didn't matter." It matters now, and has mattered since October 8th when Al Davis died of congestive heart failure at the age of 82. You know, considering the way Mark Davis treated me, you can actually make the connection that maybe Davis intends to leave the team to me. I'm just saying, okay? Anyway, that Mark Davis would assume his father's role as nominal owner was part of the succession plan, but this was not a man being groomed as Al 2.0. This is Mike Silver writing, and I'm me reading what he wrote. "As numerous Raider insiders will attest, that ship has sailed and crashed and burned a long time ago. Some owners' offspring, such as the Patriots' Jonathan Kraft, the Cincinnati Bengals' Katie Blackburn, who I might add is a great person. I met Katie at the NFL owners meeting Wilson cocktail party November 1st of 1999. Anyway, and the Pittsburgh Steelers' Art Rooney II are shrewd, engaged presences entrusted to operate their respective franchises at the highest levels. Others, such as the Indianapolis Colts' Jim Irsay and the 49ers' Jed York, inherit ownership and obviously outshine their parents. Mark Davis is Tommy Boy. This is what he called him, Tommy Boy, okay? And he's got a link to a YouTube video, does Mike Silver, of none other than Tommy Boy, the 1995 theatrical trailer for the movie and this title character of that name. He calls him Tommy Boy. Okay? Uh, look, this is what I'm talking about, okay? This is Tommy Boy. This is Mike Silver linked to, okay? All right? You can't make this stuff up, folks. You can't make this stuff up, all right? Anyway, Mike Silver writes, Mark Davis is Tommy Boy, not trying to face plant on a table full of beers. This is the first time I've ever read this. I'm going to repeat that. Mike Silver writes, Mark Davis is Tommy Boy, trying not to face plant on a table full of beers. And the thought of presiding over a team with a brash, intelligent, and charismatic coach who knew how dismissively his father used to treat him had to be a daunting prospect. And now Silver is talking about Hugh Jackson, all right? So in my opinion, this is Mike Silver. Mike Silver says, so in my opinion, Davis did what many bosses do when they feel threatened by someone with a superior skill set and an aversion to brown nosing. He kneecapped Jackson. And I suspect that the owner will encourage McKenzie to clean out as many people on the football side of the building as he can, if only to start fresh with a new crop of employees who don't have visceral images of his inglorious past. On a positive note, this is still me reading what Silver wrote, okay? Silver writes, on a positive note, he didn't botch his first hire. McKenzie is a Ron Wolf protege who had a long, highly regarded stint in the Packers front office, and on paper, he's a good choice. McKenzie claimed at Tuesday's news conference that he was the one who wanted to get rid of Hugh Jackson, and I'm not necessarily questioning that. It's possible that both the GM and owner wanted the coach gone, or that the latter gave clear and obvious signals to the former during their interview. Now, about the interview process, I like that the great John Madden, who I respect as much as I do anyone in football, and other experienced NFL executives, Ron Wolf and former Falcons general manager Ken Herrick, were advising Mark Davis. As I said, I don't believe the outcome was necessarily bad. However, this is Silver continuing to write. However, Davis said during Tuesday's media session that he had conducted one interview, a 6-hour visit with McKenzie before making his decision. One candidate? Seriously? If this were merely a case of a new business executive wanting to bring in his own people, then how overmatched is Davis in the big chair? There are many talented personnel executives with GM potential in this league. So many, it's not even funny. Some of them aggressively pursued that vacant Raiders job, eager to land an interview and persuade Davis that they were the right choice to run the franchise. By way of comparison, the 49ers York had pretty much settled on an internal candidate, Trent Baalke, as his next general manager last year. However, York still went through the interview process, meeting with several experienced and highly regarded external candidates, if only to do due diligence and prepare himself for his next hire. And Mark Davis, he had a single meeting with a single candidate and handed him the keys, as well as the all-important choice over who should coach the team. In my opinion, and that of many other respected NFL executives and coaches to whom I've spoken, the new coaching hire is likely to be a downgrade. While Jackson wasn't perfect, he is an exceptional play caller who did wonders with the previously pathetic offense he inherited as Tom Cable's coordinator in 2010. Sound familiar? And who created an upbeat, aggressive atmosphere that brought out the fire in many of his players, including veteran defensive end Richard Seymour, who stuck up for Jackson in my column Tuesday. Yet the Raiders made too many mistakes, setting NFL single-season records for penalties and penalty yards, and yes, they came out flat in a couple of important games this year. Jackson's hold Jackson's public comments may have gotten him into trouble, and his willingness to fill the short-term power vacuum after Al Davis' death and his push to acquire Carson Palmer in a trade with the Bengals might have chafed owners far more impressive than the one who fired him. With all of that said, many people see Hugh Jackson as a rising star in this profession, and I am one of them. So am I. That may not interest you, but this should. Someone who felt even more strongly about Jackson's potential was Al Davis, who hired him to salvage Tom Cable's pathetic offense and then enthusiastically entrusted him with the whole operation. Jackson likes to reinforce his conversations with a late owner too much for some people's taste. He didn't mention Al Davis a lot, did Hugh Jackson? But the fact is he was being groomed to be a powerful head coach who understood the Raider way. In that sense, he was being treated more like a hare than Mark Davis was. Think Maximus and Commodus in Gladiator. Another understandable source of tension and insecurity for the man at the wrong end of that equation. For that reason, Mike Silver writes, more than one person familiar with the late owner's mindset told him Tuesday, Mike Silver, that when this was written, that, and this was in 2012 when Mike was a Yahoo, if you're just catching up, that as Mark Davis sat at the podium and discussed Jackson's dismissal, Al was rolling over in his grave. At one point during the session, Davis answered a question about whether his father had left behind any instructions on running the franchise. Davis explained that he used to talk to my dad on the phone every night and talk about football and the organization and things of that nature. A few seconds later, the lights went out and a moving screen eerily descended behind the podium. The only thing missing was an overhead projector, and Al's ghostly image appearing on screen, pointing a finger at his son and ordering him to get the blank out of here. Instead, the lights went back on, and the lights officially went out on an era. It's Tommy Boy's show now, and he does not suffer intelligent coaches who know his history gladly. Ooh, boy, this was a stinger. Man, oh man, this was, that was one of those Mike Silver specials. I don't think Mike would ever write that on NFL.com. You will not see that Mike Silver at the NFL Network. You have not seen that Mike Silver at the NFL Network. That Mike Silver has been encased in carbonite. Okay, just saying. Barry Lee says, here in San Antonio, John Sexxy gave his massive theater company tickets to the San Antonio Area Foundation upon his death because he had no family. Interesting. So anyway, Albert says, like moving out of the Bay Area. Albert says, I heard Al used to treat Mark like blankety blank. Yeah, I've heard that too. Donis says, is it possible that Vegas can go bust? It is very possible. I've said it before and I've said it again that, look, they are about $700 million short of the sponsorship money they need for this thing to turn a profit, all right, to pay for itself. You don't want your stadium operating costs to be negative and therefore cut into your team operating expenses, okay? So, but that's exactly what could happen. You have to remember something. It's not the football team over here and the stadium over here and the two have nothing to do with each other. The stadium is supposed to be a moneymaker for the football team. That's the way it works. It's not just a place they play, but it's supposed to make money for the team. Hey, good night, Barry Lee. I'll see you. Good night. It is 1:12. I'll sign off at 1:20. Now, I want to find, having said that, because you did ask me a question about, let me see something here, about sponsorship. I just want to see if there has been any movement. I'm typing naming rights, Raiders Las Vegas. See if there's been any new news I may have missed. News. April 26th. No, but it says the Coliseum is looking to score a new naming rights partner minus its teams. That's true. I can say I do know about that. I'm not at liberty to say who that is. I know, but I'm not at liberty to say how close they are with signing a deal with that organization. Okay. Now, that said, I'm not. I don't see anything regarding information on updates about naming rights. There, okay. Now, if I go here, naming rights deal for NFL stadiums. No, that's all speculation. Nothing. So, no news. No new news. There's a lot of old news, right? But there's no new news at this stage. Okay. But Donuts, it is possible that the deal could go bust. It really is. And right now, where we are at, the main question you have to ask is this. Because you see stadium construction going on, don't assume there are no cost overruns because you don't get any updates. Scour and dig for information. But I can tell you that because they're still excavating, and they're not telling us, you've got, because they're still excavating, and they were supposed to have been done with the excavation, that in and of itself is a problem. Now, the builders are forming the structure on a design, then build, design, build, design, build, design, build process. But they were supposed to have been completed with the excavation by this month, if memory serves. That they're still doing it means they're behind schedule. Every week they're behind schedule is another week that they encroach upon the NFL season. According to the schedule, the stadium was supposed to be finished in like mid-July, early, say about August, right? But if you take a look at what they said about the preseason games. But then there's a 3-month move-in. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. That's August, September, October. That's 3 months. Or let's say it's actually going into November in most of the NFL season. So it is even reasonable to believe the stadium was actually going to be open for football season in 2020. Why they keep saying that, I don't know. What's the rush? All right. Joseph Benson says Vegas Golden Knights will now take on Winnipeg. Going to be a fun series. It is going to be a fun series. I quite agree. All right, it is 1:16, and I started this, about an hour ago. Yeah, an hour ago. I am going to wind this down and out. This has been a lot of fun, and I'm thank you all very much for indulging me in this fun conversation about Al Davis and Mark Davis and the Sexxy show at the the Sexxy show at the Westgate Center. I didn't even tweet that out, which used to be the Hilton. Now I tweeted it out. All right. And if you type Mark Davis, you get my my video, and you get my tweet, I believe. Wait a minute. Now you don't get this video yet because when it's done, then it'll go through the process and then it'll appear another 25 minutes later after this is done. All right. But we have yeah. But thank you, Cam Miller, for liking the tweets. Thank you, Rosemary Phillips. Actually, that wasn't the tweet she did, but whatever. Okay. And who else? Cam, yes, I was. Thank you for asking if I'm going to have a live stream tonight, because I said yes. Okay. And all right. I did say yes. Let me get back to any comments I may have missed. I have not missed any. Joseph Binsman has the night last word, stating that Vegas Golden Knights will want to take on Winnipeg. Let me see if I missed any Vegas news, related news that you probably would be interested in my take on, right? So hold on a second. I'm going to the Review Journal first. Talking about Vegas Golden Knights and Stanley Cup playoff, coverage. That's exciting stuff. Golden Knights to face Winnipeg Jets in Western Conference Final. I mean, you gotta say, ooh, okay, ooh. The education news is bad. Video shows Las Vegas middle school staffer knocking a student down. Why? Why? Anyway, the Golden Knights present a lot of great news for Las Vegas. Hey, that's what sports does, man. U2 performed in Vegas. I missed that. Oh, that's too bad. U2, that would have been awesome to see U2. Okay, I don't see anything that's Raider-oriented about the stadium. As politics and government, anger boils over as feds begin wild horse roundup near Las Vegas. Knights carrier doubtful for Game 1 of Western Final. And let's see here. Don't see anything notable. Nothing. Nothing. Golden Knights are all the rage. All the rage. There's nothing else. Nothing new. Gender diverse rules. MGM Resorts announced $2 billion share repurchase program. Wynn shares hit highest closing price since 2014. You know about the Trump summit with Kim. And let's see here. Watch Wonder Woman in the Park, Game with Chance in Las Vegas. That's downtown. Okay, so nothing. I'm just, scrolling through, don't see anything. Nothing, okay? Not there. All right. So that was the Review Journal. Let's check and see what's going on with the Nevada. Wait a minute. First of all, let's check and see what's going on with the Stadium Authority website, because we have the next meeting. Let's blaze off. It's May 23rd. What we should get, though, we don't have any background materials yet. We don't. From the April 12th meeting, we've got board meeting minutes, quarterly economic survey, resolution to create debt service fund, that was done, request for qualifications for authority, construction representatives, and the proposed amendment to Grand Canyon Development Partners professional services agreement, which was amended. Other than that, we don't have any information, which we will get at the 23rd meeting, about the latest in the bond monies. Okay, that should come. All right. Actually, before that, so we don't have that. Wait, what else? Nothing. Yeah. Hey, Sean Krogan says, good night, all. Stay blessed. Thank you. Oh, Joseph Benson says, what are your thoughts on Michael Cohen, Zenny? To me, he'd better sing. That's a long one. I'm going to save that for the politics take of later. It's 1:21, and I'm interested in going to sleep. I do feel a need for a politics-oriented live stream because there's so much to talk about. But also, and I don't want that to come in, to the NFL stuff. Hennessy says, some people in Las Vegas are going on strike. Oh, is that right? I'll have to check that out. Cowboy Wrestler says, Davis better thank God the NFL got rid of the blackout rule. Yeah. Let me see something here regarding news. Let me see the Las Vegas Sun. The Sun has on occasion been pretty good about coming through with, the real info on the stadium on occasion. Nevada court okays execution. Okay. That's too bad. Golden Knights to face Jets. Stevie Wonder plans shows in Las Vegas to promote love and stop hate. We need that. Need it in Oakland too. The strip might use less water than you think. Interesting. Let's see here. Nevada reports second monthly increase in taxable sales. Okay. Let me see here. This is interesting. Nevada is reporting a monthly increase in taxable sales in February for the 92nd consecutive month, and that's according to the Department of Transportation. Okay. That means people are here in Vegas rather than buying things, right? Okay, so I don't see anything about the Raiders Stadium that reflects a knowledgeable and great update. Don't see anything at all. Okay, no, nothing. All right. So let's check one more. That's the Nevada Independent, which sometimes seems like it's anything but, right? And I'm waiting for it to open. Open says me, as Popeye would say in those crappy cartoons of the 30s, right? Okay. Nevada Supreme Court overturns lower court ban on using paralytic, in Scott Dozier execution, citing procedural issues. Boy, that's really, rolling in the deep muck. All right. Christian Giuliani wants to be known as the education governor. She unveiled her plan for improving schools. The Culinary Union affidavit starts running ads for House candidate Steve Horsford, highlighting his 2014 loss. So this is deep political stuff. Culinary Union threatens possible strike on the Strip downtown if contracts are not renewed by the end of the month. Ooh. New ad. Now, could that impact the hotel tax? That's a bit of a reach. Well, maybe not. New ad from Clark County Teachers Union takes aim at June Giuliani. That's actually old news. Okay, so don't see any. I don't see any new news about the stadium. All right, I see a lot of old news. Okay, so that's not there. All right. So Hennessy says got that. I got that comment. And I got the one by Cowboy Wrestler. Okay, so folks, Hennessy says, I just tagged you on Twitter. Oh, you did? Okay, let me see what you tagged me on Twitter. I have to refresh that. I don't see your tag there. Okay, I see, are you sure you tagged the right Zenny? Like at Zenny62? Because I don't see your tag. Yeah, I don't see your tag at all. Yeah, I don't see your tag, Hennessy. Don't see it. Where was it? Cowboy Wrestler said Davis better thank God the NFL got rid of the blackout rule. I got that one, all right. Okay, that's an indication that it's time to fade because it's 1:26 and I've been on for over an hour, and I will see you on Sunday when I have as my special guest Jesse Smith, who is running for mayor of Oakland. More promos to follow and more vids to follow. Thank you all. Good night, everybody. Good night, good night, good night. And I'm glad you enjoyed the show. I wonder if I should close out with that. Nah, I don't want to get a copyright. That was fun. It was a fun way to open, wasn't it? Thank you all very, very much. This was a so fun show. Welcome to the show. We've been waiting for you. Please come inside. Ladies and gentlemen. Or is it ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to me. I love it. I love it. Happy Mother's Day, Joseph Benson. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Thank you all, and God bless my mom as well. Thank you, everybody, okay? Thank you. Good night. And I may have to change my schedule. It's Mother's Day that night, so let me figure that one out. That should not be an issue, but good night. Good night, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. Take your mom to dinner. Give your mom roses, gifts, definitely a hug and a kiss. Be with your mom. Whatever you have to do, be there. Don't be virtually there. Put away the cell phone. Be there. All right. Good night, everybody. And thanks for joining the show. See ya.